Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 9th of Jan 2024 and the price of Bitcoin, guys, is definitely heading towards the moon, and I wouldn't be surprised if the market cap of Bitcoin crosses the $1 trillion mark, guys. So definitely positive news. And even if you look at the global cryptocurrency market volume since the last 24 hours, it is almost doubled since the last 24 hours. As a matter of fact, guys, since the last 24 hours, it is up by over 94%. Now what has happened, guys, is because of spot Bitcoin ETF related news, Gary Gensler has been really active on Twitter and he has gone ahead and tweeted quite a lot of things, and that gives us an indication that there is a very high chance of a possible spot Bitcoin ETF approval. So in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. And the second news, guys, that I'd like to talk about has also to do with spot Bitcoin ETF. And what has happened is that BlackRock, ARK21 shares, and VanEck, they have gone ahead and decided to lower the fees on spot Bitcoin ETF. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore that news. And guys, listen, there's some really mysterious news going on in the world of Bitcoin. And what has happened is someone has gone ahead and sent $1.2 million worth of Bitcoin to Satoshi Nakamoto. Now listen, guys, this $1.2 million has actually gone ahead and increased because the price have increased. And listen, guys, this is the power of open blockchain, isn't it? Absolutely anyone can go ahead and validate this transaction. So in today's episode, I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. Now listen, guys, we might seem to be optimistic regarding Bitcoin spot ETF, but we also need to take into consideration what would happen if a Bitcoin spot ETF may not be approved. So that is definitely a thing to ponder about. And the US Security and Exchange Commission website, guys, they have actually published an article that talks about say no to FOMO, that is fear of missing out. So what I'd really recommend you to do is don't just run on the hype, rather do your own research. Now finally, guys, towards the end of the episode, we have some positive news, and that is to do with the cryptocurrency exchange from South Korea, and they have actually got full license from Singapore. And look, guys, the Monetary Authority of Singapore has definitely been very proactive in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and I very specifically remember in the third quarter of this year, pretty much every second day, I used to cover some positive news where they're focusing on development the entire cryptocurrency and blockchain ecosystem. So Monetary Authority of Singapore are definitely taking leaps and bounds in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast, I'm going to be covering two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now look, guys, India has had love-hate relationship with Bitcoin, but they're definitely massive advocates of central bank digital currency. And in my episode last week, I did talk about how the Reserve Bank of India is actually promoting central bank digital currency. Definitely not ideal. And because of that, guys, Indian crypto companies are flocking to Dubai. So the first news that I'm going to be talking about is an article which is actually published in Being Crypto that talks about Indian crypto companies flocking to Dubai to escape overbearing laws at the home country. Now definitely unfortunate news for India, but definitely positive news from Dubai and UAE. And the second news, guys, that I'm going to be talking about has to do with artificial intelligence in Abu Dhabi, the capital of Emirates. They are definitely in the news as well. In Abu Dhabi's AIQ is joining forces with Amazon Web Services to revolutionize the energy sector with AI solutions. Now look, guys, to be completely honest, when I'm preparing for this podcast, I'm finding it difficult to get news from cryptocurrency and blockchain world. But when I type in artificial intelligence, I'm getting the news fairly easy. And I'm hoping that this trend continues for 2024 and in the next coming years as well. So quite a lot to cover, guys, in today's episode. So let's kickstart with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee a Day has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where
Ledger Wallet kicks in, and Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers two hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below.
Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now as of today guys, the 9th of January, the global cryptocurrency market is at $1.73 trillion. And guys, in my episode that I released yesterday, I very specifically mentioned 3 factors to keep an eye on. That is the 24-hour trading volume, the volume on stable coins, and the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin. And to be honest guys, the numbers have changed drastically. So let's go ahead and explore that. So far as the global cryptocurrency market is concerned, it is at $1.73 trillion. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 4.35%. Now listen to this guys. The total cryptocurrency market volume over the last 24 hours is at $87.44 billion. And since the last 24 hours guys, it is up by 94.62%. Now what I really want to do is guys, I want to compare this number with what is going on in stable coins and the 24-hour trading volume, because that will give us an idea if centralized exchanges have been used in order to go a lot of Bitcoin, or decentralized exchanges has been used. And based on the number guys, looks like a lot of centralized exchanges have been used in order to go ahead and buy a lot of Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and take a deep dive into that. Now if you look at the total volume in DeFi, it is at $8.05 billion, and DeFi guys is accounting for 9.20% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And so far as the total value locked is concerned, it is at $53.67 billion. Now look guys, the numbers of DeFi hasn't changed, and last time that thing happened guys was just little over a week ago, and what happened is immediately the following day, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency crashed, isn't it? Now the reason why it crashed is completely different, and that was more to do with a report which is published by MatrixPort, but I wouldn't be surprised when we get some news tomorrow, the price of Bitcoin could actually drop. And that is something which we discussed yesterday in the Ask Me Anything series as well. Now if you look at the dominance guys, Lido still dominating with $21.88 billion, and decentralized to centralized exchange dominance, for a sad reason, is actually low at only 13.92%. To be honest guys, I would be really content if decentralized to centralized exchange dominance was actually up. That would actually mean that people are using a lot of decentralized exchanges in order to go ahead and buy a lot of Bitcoin, and that, to be honest, is a healthy sign. Now guys, let's quickly run through the volume of stable coins, because it is definitely pumped up. And if you look at the USDT's volume in particular, it is definitely pumped up to the roof. Now so far as the volume is concerned, it is at $74.37 billion, and Tether USDT is accounting for $62.97 billion. Circle USDC guys, its volume is also relatively pumped up at $7.58 billion, Tron USD at $292 million, and the volume of all stable coins is at $74.37 billion, and it is accounting for 83.36% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now guys, let's look at another important metric, and that is the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin. And looks like since the last 24 hours, a lot of purchases going on, particularly to do with Bitcoin, because its 24-hour trading volume is $43.13 billion, whereas Ethereum guys, most of the time it is half, but today it is less than 1/3 of Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume. It is only at $14.15 billion, and because of this guys, Bitcoin's dominance is definitely pumped up, and as of today it is at 53.20%, whereas Ethereum's dominance is 16.30%. Now look guys, in the very likely chances of a Bitcoin spot ETF to be approved, could it be possible that Bitcoin's dominance crosses the 60% mark? I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if that thing does actually go ahead and happen. And if you look at the market cap of Bitcoin guys, it is at $923 billion, whereas Ethereum is at $281 billion. Now look guys, for some reason, if the US Security and Exchange Commission does decide to go ahead and decline or delay the decision, I wouldn't be surprised if the market cap of Bitcoin does actually go below the $750 billion mark. That is what I personally think. So I wouldn't be surprised if it actually crashes by, let's say, 25 to 30%. And to be completely honest, even if a Bitcoin spot ETF is approved, I wouldn't be surprised if the market cap still actually goes down. And now guys, we don't have to make any guesses. We are less than 24 hours for a final decision to be made by the US Security and Exchange Commission. Now the next matrix guys is probably for the very first time I'm going to be sharing out, and that is to do with the total value secured across all oracles. And it's needless to say guys that Chainlink is the king of oracles, and if you look at its market cap, it is at $17.35 billion. Now look guys, I've always said this, when you talk about memes, Chainlink fanboys are definitely creating some of the best memes on the entire planet. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, for fun guys, join the official Chainlink's Facebook group and look at the memes. They're absolutely funny and ridiculous. Now the number second so far as the total value secured for oracles is concerned, it is VanEck, and its market cap is $8.09 billion. Chronicle is at number third with $7.77 billion. Pit or Pyth is at $1.94 billion. And finally guys, Switchboard at $392.2 million. To be honest guys, I have no clue on the third, fourth and fifth project. Maybe I need to go out and do more research on this. Now listen guys, in my Crypto in Coffee 88 podcast, what I tend to do is, before looking at the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum and Binance, I tend to look at one particular project or protocol, and I try to give out some bits and pieces of information. But in today's episode, what I'm going to be doing is, because there is so much news regarding Bitcoin Spot ETF, what I did is, I asked ChatGPT to write some bits and pieces of information regarding Bitcoin Spot ETF, and then I also asked ChatGPT to give us an impact on the price of Bitcoin and what is the impact on other cryptocurrencies once the spot Bitcoin ETF is approved. And listen guys, the next thing what I did, I asked ChatGPT to give us some of the pros of spot Bitcoin ETF and some of the cons of Bitcoin Spot ETF, and finally, I wanted to get out what artificial intelligence thinks of the entire situation. So what I'm going to be reading out next guys is 100% information from ChatGPT, and let me know if you agree to these points or disagree to these points. So the first thing is, what is Bitcoin Spot ETF? So let me go ahead and read out what ChatGPT says. Now what ChatGPT says is a Bitcoin Spot ETF or exchange traded fund is a financial product that tracks the price of Bitcoin in real time, reflecting the current market value or spot price of the cryptocurrency. And unlike future contracts, which involve commitment to buy or sell Bitcoin at a predetermined future date and price, a spot Bitcoin ETF aims to directly mirror the immediate value of Bitcoin. Now, so far as the impact of price of Bitcoin is concerned, what ChatGPT is saying is that the approval of Bitcoin Spot ETF could have a significant impact on the price of Bitcoin. It might attract institutional investors who were previously hesitant due to regulatory concerns or lack of traditional investment vehicles. An increased demand from institutional players could drive up the price of Bitcoin as more capital flows into the market. Now, I 100% agree to this. Now, listen, guys, you need to understand that ChatGPT takes information only till 2021, and I'm sure at this point of time, they don't know that BlackRock is heavily invested into Bitcoin Spot ETFs as well, isn't it? Now, so far as the impact of cryptocurrency is concerned, what ChatGPT is saying is that the approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF could also have a positive spillover effect on other cryptocurrencies, as Bitcoin often serves as a benchmark for broader cryptocurrency market. Increased institutional interest in Bitcoin may lead to a more favorable view of the overall cryptocurrency space, potentially benefiting other digital assets. I 100% agree to it. Now let's see what it says regarding the pros of spot Bitcoin ETF and some of the cons of spot Bitcoin ETF. Regarding pros of spot Bitcoin ETF, it focuses on 3 points, that is increased accessibility, market validation, and liquidity boost. Now, regarding increased accessibility, what ChatGPT is saying, guys, is that a spot ETF provides an easy way for institutional and retail investors to gain exposure to the price movement of Bitcoin without having to directly hold and manage the cryptocurrency. And regarding market validation, what it suggests is that regulatory approval for spot Bitcoin ETF could be seen as a form of validation by traditional financial markets, potentially reducing the perceived risks associated with investing in Bitcoin. And regarding liquidity boost, the creation of a spot ETF could enhance liquidity in the Bitcoin market, making it easier for investors to buy and sell without significantly impact the price. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? Me personally, I agree to what ChatGPT is saying thus far. Now let's look at some of the cons of spot Bitcoin ETF, and it focuses on 3 points once again, that is market manipulation risk, volatility concerns, and regulatory uncertainty. Now, regarding market manipulation risk, what ChatGPT is saying is that the ETF market could potentially be susceptible to market manipulation, as seen in traditional financial markets, and regulators would need to establish robust mechanism to prevent and detect such activities, and that's one of the reasons why I do believe that the US Security and Exchange Commission is aggressively having meetings with different applicators, and they are focusing on associated partners, and they want the ETF approval to be extremely thorough in it. Now the second point is regarding volatility concerns, and what ChatGPT is saying, guys, is that the crypto market is known for its volatility, and a spot Bitcoin ETF could expose investors to rapid price swings, and without proper risk management, this could lead to substantial losses. And finally, regarding regulatory uncertainty, what ChatGPT is saying is that the regulatory environment for cryptocurrencies is still evolving, and delays or uncertainties in regulatory approval process could affect the development and stability of Bitcoin spot ETF. Now look, guys, looks like ChatGPT does not have information till 2024, and we are less than 24 hours from getting a final decision. Now the final question, guys, which I asked ChatGPT, what I actually typed, is what does ChatGPT think of the whole situation? So let me read out what ChatGPT says, and I'm going to be reading it out word for word. And what ChatGPT is saying, guys, is that as a machine learning model, I don't have personal opinions. However, I can provide an analysis, and the approval of a Bitcoin spot ETF represents a significant step towards mainstream acceptance of cryptocurrencies. It has the potential to bring in new investors, increase liquidity, and contribute to the maturation of cryptocurrency market. However, regulatory challenges and the inherent risk associated with cryptocurrencies underline the need for careful consideration and oversight to ensure the ETF success and the protection of investors. To be honest, guys, I definitely am liking and agreeing to what ChatGPT is saying. But what are your thoughts, guys? Do you agree to it or disagree to it? Mention them in the comments below. Now, guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And to be honest, guys, the price of Bitcoin is definitely heading towards the moon. And as of now, it is at $47,116. And as I said, guys, I wouldn't be surprised, irrespective of an approval or a decline or a delayed decision, the price could actually go down. And this is knowing the notorious history of Bitcoin whales, isn't it? So we'll just have to wait and see. Now, since the last 24 hours, the price of Bitcoin is actually up by 6.47%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 8.40%. Now, the reason why the prices have gone up since the last 24 hours is because Gary Gensler has put out some tweets. Now, mind you, guys, the tweets do not give absolutely any indication that a Bitcoin spot ETF will be approved. But Gary Gensler's tweets has more to do with the ETF approval. So it looks like the market is making an assumption that a Bitcoin spot ETF will be approved. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that next. Now, so far as the price of Ethereum is concerned, it is at $2,340. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 4.43%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 0.09%. Binance BNB Coin, guys, is at $306. Since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 0.03%. But since the last 7 days, it is down by 1.94%. Now look, guys, we are less than 24 hours from a possible spot Bitcoin ETF approval, and in anticipation of a possibly spot Bitcoin ETF approval, US Security and Exchange Commission Chair Gary Gensler has put across a series of useful, important, and powerful tweets. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, in the show notes below, I've gone ahead and mentioned this tweet. Now, he has said some really important things that you need to consider when you're thinking about investing in cryptocurrency. So definitely really important information. And to be honest, guys, he's actually emphasizing on compliance warning. And in that tweet, what he's actually stating is that crypto investments may not necessarily comply with laws, risking investors key information and protection. And he's also stressing on risk and volatility alert. And what he's actually tweeting is that crypto assets are exceptionally risky, prone to volatility, insolvency, and value loss. And he's also given some really stark fraud warning. And what he's actually stating is that rising popularity attracts fraudsters, leading to scams like bogus offerings, Ponzi schemes, and theft. Now, to be honest, guys, I 100% agree to it. Now, let me go ahead and read out what his actual tweets are, because he did put out a series of 3 tweets. And the first one actually states that those offering crypto asset investment or services may not be complying with applicable law, including federal securities laws. Investors in crypto asset securities should understand they may be deprived of key info and other important protection in connection with their investment. The second one, what he's tweeted, is investments in crypto assets can also be exceptionally risky and are often volatile. A number of major platforms and crypto assets have become insolvent and or lost value. Investments in crypto assets continue to be subject to significant risk, And finally, guys, the third thing that he tweeted is that fraudsters continue to exploit the rising popularity of crypto asset to lure retail investors into scams, and these investments continue to replicate with fraud bogus coin offerings and Ponzi and pyramid schemes, and outright theft where a project promoter disappears with the investors' money. Now listen guys, whether you like Gary Gensler or not, I 100% agree to it, and along with Gary Gensler guys, if you go to the US Security and Exchange website, they've also published a really interesting article, and the name of the article is Say No to FOMO. So if you're apprehensive regarding cryptocurrencies, I would definitely recommend you to go ahead and check that article out. Now guys, listen, in anticipation of a spot Bitcoin ETF approval, BlackRock, ARK21 shares, and VanEck, they have actually decided to lower the fees for spot Bitcoin ETF. Now let me just read out some of the new fees, because BlackRock, they have reduced the fees to 0.30% of the ETF's net value. ARK21 shares guys, they have reduced it to 0.25% annualized fee rate. VanEck is at 0.25% fee. Valkyrie guys is at 0.80% annual rate, and Fidelity's Wise Original Bitcoin Fund will actually charge 0.39%. And BlackRock actually disclosed this information on Monday, and what they actually stated, and that they are reducing a fee, and it is down to 0.30% of the ETF's net value, less than some of its rival. Now it's really important to understand guys, the fee is on an annualized basis and is payable at least quarterly, and the company said it in its filing, and so far as ARK21 shares is concerned, they will apply 0.25% annualized fee rate to the total Trust Bitcoin USD holdings, and this is also in the filings which is put up on Monday. And VanEck's Bitcoin ETF guys also plans to charge a 0.25% fees according to the filing. Now at this point of time guys, there is massive hope that the US Security and Exchange Commission will go ahead and approve the first Bitcoin spot ETF. But here's the interesting bit guys, Valkyrie's Bitcoin ETF plans to charge a 0.80% annual rate as I mentioned earlier, which is a bit higher isn't it? And so far as Fidelity Wise Original Fund is concerned, they are steady at 0.39%. So it's going to be really interesting to see guys how this particular news impacts the price of Bitcoin. Now guys, let's discuss some positive news, and that is all the way from Singapore. And South Korean cryptocurrency exchange called Upbit, they have obtained a major payment institution license, also called as MPI license, from Monetary Authority of Singapore, and this license would actually enable Upbit to provide regulated digital payment tokens, also called as DPT, and they will be offering these services in Singapore. And Upbit guys had received in principle approval from the Monetary Authority of Singapore in October of last year, allowing it to continue operations while waiting for full licensing. And I'm pretty much sure guys, I definitely covered this news in my Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast in October. So definitely positive news. Now guys, let me go ahead and discuss some mysterious news, and that is to do with Satoshi Nakamoto. And what happened guys is that a crypto user sent $1.2 million in Bitcoin to the Genesis wallet associated with Bitcoin creator that is Satoshi Nakamoto. And guys, this transaction occurred shortly after the 15-year anniversary of the Bitcoin network. Now this particular move guys has definitely puzzled a lot of Bitcoin maximalists and crypto enthusiasts as well, and some of them are speculating about possible reasons behind it, and some are actually stating that it is purely a marketing stunt for a spot Bitcoin ETF approval, while others are actually speculating about potential pressure to reveal Nakamoto's identity, and that is possibly due to tax regulations. So definitely interesting news, isn't it? Now at this point of time guys, the exact motive for the transaction remains unclear, because an unidentified crypto wallet on 5th of Jan sent some 27 Bitcoins, which at that point of time was worth $1.17 million, and right now I believe it is more than $1.20 million, and he sent it to the very first Bitcoin address, which is attributed to Satoshi Nakamoto. And listen guys, this is the power of open blockchain, isn't it? Absolutely anyone can go ahead and validate this transaction, so definitely interesting news. So those were some macro level news guys on the cryptocurrency world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news guys is an article which is actually published by Bein Crypto, and the article actually mentions that Indian cryptocurrency flocks to Dubai to escape overbeating laws at home. So I definitely agree to it. So let me go ahead and read out what this news is all about, because India's strict tax regulations guys and uncertain legal framework for digital currencies are driving the exodus, isn't it? And so far as UAE is concerned, UAE is welcoming Indian cryptocurrency firms, attracting them with low taxes and a dedicated regulated framework. And what the article states is that UAE's 30% Indian expat population contributes to 18% to India's $110 billion global remittance inflow, and India-UAE trade has actually reached $85 billion last year, emphasizing the growing economic relationship. And so far as blockchain and Web3 is concerned, blockchain and Web3 sectors have further strengthened the financial bond between India and the UAE, and the Reserve Bank of India Remittance Survey cards in 2021 highlights a significant contribution of Indian expatriates in the UAE to global remittance. And Sumit Gupta, who's the CEO of CoinDCX, knows that some Web3 founders prefer Dubai due to regulatory clarity and community support. And India, guys, as we know, has imposed a 30% tax on cryptocurrency trading profits, leading to a decline in local markets. 30% is ridiculously high, isn't it? And apart from that, a 1% tax is also deducted at source on transactions, that is about 10,000 rupees, adding to the challenges faced by Indian crypto businesses. Now listen guys, despite high taxes, what that report is actually stating is that India remains a leader in grassroots cryptocurrency adoption, and so far as Dubai is concerned, the report states that Dubai offers ease of business setup, low taxes, and a dedicated regulatory framework for digital assets. Now listen guys, setting up a business is extremely easy, and so far as DMCC is concerned, what that report actually states is that the DMCC, that is Dubai Multi-Commodity Center, houses over 23,000 companies with a significant Indian presence, and Bilal Jusama, the head of business development of DMCC, has highlighted Dubai's role as a global hub attracting diverse international businesses. And the article also stresses that the shift aligns with a broader trend in crypto, with the Middle East and North African region, also called as MENA region, are emerging as key players, and the MENA region, guys, has recorded a substantial $400 billion in cryptocurrency transactions, indicating a significant growth. And so far as Indian cryptocurrency firms are concerned, the article states that they will continue to navigate regulatory challenges while Dubai provides a viable alternative. And finally, guys, what the article stresses is that Dubai's progressive stance and strategic global position foster a conducive environment for the growth and innovation of the cryptocurrency industry. So definitely a brilliant article, and I'll surely recommend you to go ahead and read it. Now guys, let's look at the second news, and that is to do with the capital of United Arab Emirates, that is Abu Dhabi. And Abu Dhabi's AIQ has joined forces with Amazon Web Services, and they're doing that to revolutionize the energy sector with AI solutions. Now look guys, lately what I'm noticing is a lot of the news regarding artificial intelligence, you can actually see the results, unlike cryptocurrency and blockchain space, where they're still in the planning phase for almost over a decade. So let me go ahead and read out what this partnership between AIQ and Amazon Services is, because Abu Dhabi's AIQ partnering with Amazon Services is definitely going to be a massive deal. And AIQ has announced a groundbreaking collaboration to offer Well-Night software on the AWS market, and Well-Night software, guys, becomes the first local software as a service, also called a SaaS, that is SaaS provider in the energy sector in Gulf Cooperation Council, or GCC, and they will be featured on the AWS market. And AIQ, guys, passes the AWS Foundation Technical Review and is recognized as an AWS certified partner, showcasing its commitment to delivering exceptional AI solutions. And this partnership, guys, enables Well-Night to integrate seamlessly with AWS services, enhancing the user experience for global clients. And AIQ and AWS aim to make advanced energy solutions more accessible by introducing Well-Night through AWS Marketplace. And Well-Night, guys, is AIQ's flagship tool, offering profound insights and enhanced reservoir characterization for petrogeologists and engineers. And the tool consists of 4 key modules, that is AI BHI, Geostress, 1D MEM, and PayZone, and each automating and elevating barrel data analysis and modeling. And AI BHI automates barrel image interpretation, and Geostress AI-assisted stress analysis, and 1D MEM supports geochemical models, and PayZone, guys, identifies optimal perforation zone. And to be honest, guys, these are the areas where the work by artificial intelligence is definitely visible, isn't it? And Well-Night's integrated approach expedites data processing, reducing analysis time from weeks to minutes, enhancing accuracy with blend of artificial intelligence human expertise. And the refined analysis has the potential to boost production efficiency and contribute to sustainability by reducing the carbon footprint through better operational understanding. And by offering Well-Nights via the AWS market, AIQ aims to provide the energy industry with easy access to its solution. And guys, the AWS market is known for its trustworthiness in enterprise software, and it facilitates a secure and streamlined procurement process for testing and deploying advanced technologies, isn't it? And Dr. Chris Cooper, the CEO of AIQ, emphasizes the partnership impact, stating that VanEck gives the global energy sector a platform to automate and improve borehole analysis, and the collaboration between AIQ and AWS guys is a significant step towards modernizing the energy sector through the innovative AI technologies. And AIQ's achievement as the first local service as a solution provider on AWS market highlights its pioneering approach and strong position in the region energy tech scene. And VanEck's introduction to the AWS market, guys, aims to simplify access to advanced artificial intelligence solutions to the energy industry, and the move by AIQ and AWS contributes to unlocking value at the scale for industry and extends AIQ's UAE-made solutions to a global customer base. So definitely a positive news. So those were the news, guys, on the Crypto and Coffee a Day from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website Area 2071 that talks everything about Metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, there's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Sanju asks, are you in Dubai and are they leading the space over here? To be honest, Sanj, definitely not. So far as cryptocurrency and blockchain is concerned, there are definitely quite a lot of Indians in the space, but are they leading the space? I definitely cannot say that, because when you talk about cryptocurrencies, when you talk about blockchain, and this is purely based on my experience, I hate to say it, over 90% of them are outright scams, or the CEOs, CTOs, and founders have no idea what they're talking about. Now, I hate to say it, unfortunately, a lot of meetups that I tend to attend are absolute waste of time. Now, from a regulation point of view and setting up business point of view, yes, Dubai is definitely 10 steps ahead than most of the other countries, but at the same time, when you talk about projects and protocol, most of them are outright scams. So, Sanj, what I've stopped doing is I've stopped attending events, and just 2 years ago, I did actually attend the GITEX event, and to be honest, I was completely shocked at the lack of quality information, and I could literally count it in one hand, legitimate information that I could actually receive. But to answer your question, Sanj, no, I don't think so. Indians are leading the space. There is a mixture of diverse culture in the space. There are a lot of people from Russia, a lot of people from US, a lot of people from Singapore, a lot of people from China. So it's a mix of all the different countries which are making the stance of us Web3, blockchain, and cryptocurrency space is concerned. And listen, Shanj, I hate to say it, one of my favorite groups from Dubai that I used to actually recommend my clients, called as Crypto with Coffee, they used to have quality content, but right now, if you're actually following them via Twitter, it is actually filled with spams and bots. That is, I guess, happens across all regions, across different sectors as well, not just in the cryptocurrency world. So those are my honest thoughts, but it's going to be really interesting to see if we do have a ChatGPT moment. It'll be great if an Indian company does actually do that in the world of so-called Web 3.0, Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. So those are my honest thoughts. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.